right. Hello,
Hey.
everyone. Hello, Adam and
Oh, I
audience that's
can't.
watching. And oh, you can't hear me? I'm not muted, am I? No, I'm not muted. Should be good. Um, and welcome to the It's Space Spotlight. We're going to be looking at an indie title called Fade. Uh, and I'm
I can't hear it, but I don't think I muted it.
Yep. We're just dealing with a little bit of some technical issues with Adam's
Yeah, it's not.
microphone. It looks like I don't know if you guys tested that beforehand.
It's
My
not
my
muted.
microphone should be good.
Could it
Let me
just be
just
so
check.
quiet?
All right. Are you guys able to hear
Oh
me on there?
no.
Fine. Okay. Okay. We're good. All right. I'm just checking. All right. So anyway, yeah, we're looking at this game. The developer is it's Night Solo Dev, right? I mean that's and that they participated in some of the game jams according to the guys that run this
Internet.
shindig, and I got the pleasure of downloading it and trying it out. Unfortunately, the devs are not here yet, but we may yet see them. Like before the show is over or soon. We've reached out to them, and
Well, everything's in the browser, so I should be able to
they might just be
hear
like
it, but I
busy
don't.
or
Um,
something. So, what do you say we just jump right in?
am
I
I
guess.
like deafened somewhere?
Okay. So, can you hear me? I'm on Discord
Yes.
right now. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can't hear me in the StreamYard?
Yeah.
You can?
I can't. No, I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well,
is this gonna have to do then? Because I can hear you just fine.
sure. Yeah, this works.
Okay.
All right.
All
So
right.
today Yeah, so
Yep.
today we're checking out Fade, a fantasy RPG, Souls-like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess the developer was inspired by Fable, Dark
And Full Metal
Souls,
Alchemist.
and Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see the visual design has done some of that. Now, I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
really familiar with Fable, but
okay. But you know Full Metal Alchemist?
a little bit. I remember
Okay.
watching it when it first launched, like way back in the day. And I had a friend who was always sharing like new animes with us. And so we'd watch usually like the first four episodes of something. I think I saw the
Yeah.
first four of that, of
Okay.
Bleach, of Naruto. And some of them I was interested in going further, and some of them we just never got around to. So I know
Okay.
that's a good one, though. I know that's
Yeah,
a
Full Metal
popular one.
Alchemist. Yeah, that's my favorite. I was very
Mm.
excited when I saw that was an inspiration. It
Yeah.
it look yeah, it looks like he's kind of copied the idea of homunculus being the villains. There's like several homunculus, and they're
Oh,
trying to
yeah, that makes
sacrifice the
sense.
country.
Yeah. So then, yeah, so the game definitely plays in a Souls-like fashion. But we'll get into it and show you first. But before we do that, I wanted to point out that the game is available on Steam right now to wish list, and there is
Yeah.
also a Kickstarter going on,
And a
and
demo.
yeah, and a demo which I'm going to play. So look up I believe it's called Fate: The First Chapter.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I already started a game. I'm level 22, and
All
I
right.
haven't gotten super far into it. I mean, but it doesn't matter that much at this point. Even though there are multiple files, I wanted to start different files because I wanted to try. There's like I want to say it's like 3 or 4 different starting classes.
Okay.
So there's like a mage, and there's like a rogue type, and then there's like a knight, and there might be one other one. I'm not really sure. I
Okay.
don't
So we're
remember.
not.
But
So
I'm playing the knight type.
okay. So we got pretty typical RPG classes. There's no like
Yeah.
mesmer and necromancer and yeah.
No, it seems like it seems like it's just like very archetypal, right? But
Yeah.
from what I understand, this is a pretty early build. And I can already tell because there are some assets that are sort of reused. They're like placeholders almost. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm having an issue with my game starting. It might just be taking a while to load. But yeah, you're in this like a fortress, and there's
Okay.
these plant creatures.
You're a gardener?
Uh-oh.
Ah, just me.
I dropped out of the thing again for some reason. Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but
Technical difficulties, lads and ladies. Please bear with us. Sorry about this.
yeah.
Yeah, having a couple technical issues.
Out for a moment. Let me find out if no problem. Let me see if maybe the Fade game is like crashing on me. It never did before, I will say. Sorry, what was
I
that?
like that username, A Norwegian. Hello to you too.
Oh, yes, hello, it Norwegian. He's one of my subscribers. So I'm sharing this on my channel as well. So, all right, let me see. Can I find it? Where is the game?
A more confusing username would be several Norwegians.
Oh, here it is. Fade.
A
I'm gonna
hyphen of
stop it
Norwegians.
and restart it. So, see if that works because it seemed to be like frozen on the loading screen. Which again,
Yeah.
I've been playing it for a bit and it hasn't happened before. So that's kind of a strange thing.
It is a demo though, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I like janky demos from back in the day.
Janky demos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
haven't-
sometimes have to start it twice to get it to work, but it will eventually. All
Yeah,
right,
I haven't.
presenting this.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to play it. I was supposed to have a fresh perspective for the stream.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see if we can satisfy that.
Yeah, but I'm pretty curious because I do love my RPGs. Big fan of fantasy.
All right. We're going to try to start it. This time it looks a little bit more promising.
Did
So-
you name your character Zero?
No, I think that was just
Oh, okay.
I
that's a
don't know if
slot
I
number.
gave my character a name. I don't know if that was built in the build.
Oh, okay.
It appears to be loading now. Okay.
Here we go.
Now there's no audio? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see something here. Can you hear anything?
Can I hear it on StreamYard?
Yeah, the audio from the game.
No, I can't hear anything.
All right, let's try. I'm gonna stop sharing right now, and then do it again. This time,
So are
make
those
sure.
the bonfires? The blue glowing? thing?
Yeah, those are the
Okay.
bonfires. All right, there we go. See if
That's
this
kind of
works.
cool. So instead of looking for like an orange glow for safety, you're looking for
A blue one.
and everybody
Yeah.
likes blue, right? That's like the most popular color.
Yeah, the channel mantles are essentially the bonfires, and you look down on the lower left corner. There's my weapons on the left side. I have two weapons right now. This claymore, which takes two hands.
Oh, look at that.
This sword and a shield. Okay, and I think down lets me switch between my melee weapons and my bow. And one thing about the bow is that you have to hold R2 to aim. I don't know if there's
Okay.
more controls that I'm not aware of, but I have like 69 arrows.
So you're holding
Which
right
means
trigger to aim instead of
Yeah,
left
right trigger to aim. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then right
And it
bumper to
does-
shoot.
No, you release and it'll shoot. You hold it
Oh,
down,
okay.
he draws it back, and when you let go, he'll shoot. So I'm in this keep, and it's full of
Kinda
these
cool.
critters. I'll show you what they look like.
Yeah, that kind of gives.
They'll
that kinda has a more of
respawn
a
whenever you
bow
rest
feel.
and stuff. Yeah, and of course there's rolling. There's
You
an
break all
enemy
the,
right there.
barrels. Very important.
Yep.
Yeah, because like with a gun, you're pressing your fire, but with a bow, you're releasing. So it kind of is like immersive in a way. And they've got the same lazy hit bars as Dark Souls. Like you can see
The
your
what?
damage in yellow. It's like a
Yeah.
lazy health bar where like you see the damage slowly drain.
Oh yeah, yeah. It looks like a lot of this is still early days though, like the you know, the bars and the symbol and all that is like pretty plain right now. So
Yeah.
I parried that guy.
mute my mic.
Me? Oh, okay. All right. So let me okay, I'm gonna save here. So I mean when I go here to rest, I get all my health back, obviously. Restock all of my well, essentially it's a flask that's on the right side. I think it's called something different. And when you pause the game, it pauses. I can also, again, just pointing out, this is, I think, still early days yet. As you can see, some of these items that I'm using, like some of this armor I picked up, there's a question mark there because I guess I assume that there isn't like artwork for that yet. But I am wearing upgraded armor. It's sort of like a studded leather. Pretty nice looking. And a new helmet. So, yeah, and there's a jump button, and there's also jump attacks. Although I don't think they're good. But at least I haven't figured out how to use them yet. The environment's pretty cool. I'm not sure where they get I don't know if these are like assets that you can download or if you have to rebuild them from scratch or whatever. So, and there's music. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Good. Yeah. Running mechanics, rolling mechanics, blocking, and parrying. If you can time it right. Yeah. I mean, it definitely meets the standards for like what we expect these days. So, wilding essence, it's some kind of currency. I've been picking it up when I kill these guys sometimes, but I'm not sure what it means yet. This guy's got like a spear or a pitchfork or something. I'm not really great at parrying those, so I just kind of block it and let the recoil do the rest. So yeah, I picked there were 3 starting classes for the demo. There's a mage. I think it's 3. There's a mage. There's a like more of a swift, dual dagger wielding character, and then there's this guy, who's sort of like your knight. And I thought, well, let me just go with what I know. I backstab that guy. Looks pretty cool, right? All right. Ow! It stabbed me. All right. Drink my thing. You mean in StreamYard? Okay. So this is another area, the Trail of Remembrance. There's definitely some strange lore. It's very mysterious. Here is where I rested. I can fast travel. Fort Whisper is, I believe, like back earlier where I spawned in when the game started in the Trail of Remembrance. And I can also spend points here. This is the thing that I was going to mention. So I put in a few hours in this just to like get a sense of what the game was about. And I kept dying on the first boss. And I realized like a long way into it that I never leveled up because I didn't see that I could do it. I didn't see it was on the screen. I was just resting. And so I basically made things harder for myself for no reason. I don't have enough to level up anything right now, but it's very similar from what I can tell. You, if you die, lose your currency. These guys kind of like scary. And how many people are on this team? The developer's not here yet, so we'll wait until he gets in. Adam, can you hear me? And I can't hear you, but I haven't been able to hear him since he came back in. Let me switch to the bow so you guys can see how that works. So it doesn't lock on. So like even though I lock onto a guy, doesn't mean that I'm gonna hit him with that unless I'm doing this wrong. This is how I've been doing it. Yes. So let's switch to the bastard sword so you guys can see that. I also so like down this road, there's a mini boss, I guess, or like an invader boss. He's like a human like you. And I defeated him already. Huh?
Oh, like an NPC, like saying.
Yeah, like yeah, but he looks just like me, but he had like an axe and he was right through this door. I don't know if he's still here because I already killed him. So there might not be anything there, but I'll just go through here and find out. Yeah, they usually stay dead, right? Because otherwise I could farm him. But yeah, he beat me up pretty good. Yeah, he was right in here. You can see all these bodies in the mud and stuff. Yeah, like obviously this is like a crazy battlefield. And I assume because like yeah, go ahead.
Oh, like the guy you killed all those guys, so you're super bad.
Yes, he was killing people. Well, no, I mean because he killed me too. Like I eventually beat him, but he was obviously like dangerous. He had magic and everything.
So,
No, they didn't. That's right.
yeah.
And I assume the game continues from here, but since it's just a demo, that seems to be where it ends. So I beat this one, but there's another boss that's harder that I assume is the main boss of this. So I'm gonna head back inside the fortress and see if I can find him. And I guess the dev is gonna be coming on in a moment. So, and yeah, it looks I think it's got some legs on it for sure. You know, I would say it's gonna be a challenge because a lot of people are doing the Souls likes now, and so you gotta like how do you stand out, right? I like that backstab a lot. So yeah, yeah, with the claymore, yeah. We get this guy. Oh no, I didn't do it that time. It does a lot of damage, this one, compared to my sword and board combo.
Yeah, someone in chat was saying
So
it's a bit dark. I kind of agree with it. Sort of
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do. Yeah. I don't really have an option to make it lighter. I don't think, unless there was something in the settings. No, I don't have that as equipment. I'm just kind of like queen of the dark here.
Just like tilts, like if you hit the joystick forward and jump forward.
No. Oh, I know what you mean. Like special commands. No, it doesn't look like it. Let me see if I can do. What's that? Like, oh, this is. So that's like a backstep, but I have to double tap the circle button. Me? Oh. Yeah, seems to be a little bit better now. So, yeah, double tap and he'll do a step back, but it doesn't really change my attacks at all. If I roll an attack, it's the same too. So maybe it's, like I said, early days, but that was one of the things about the Souls likes. That like that backstab though. No. He shot me with some green stuff. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's a strong contrast. I that was one of the things I thought because I was like, well, I'd like to try the mage to see, if that changes anything. But yeah, here you can get a pretty decent look at the model, I guess, because like it's this blue light. So,
It's a weird
um,
like architecture.
yeah,
Snake coming out of the
yeah, it looks like a snake or a dragon. It's got some column action and like a what looks like a cup or a goblet on top. Wait, how do?
makes me think of like the Black Cauldron or something.
Yeah, it's very fairy tale like. Yeah, it is. How do I get back in? Wait, is this thing closed to me? I mean, if it is, it's okay. I can teleport, but it looks like it is. Oh, what the? Okay, I'm gonna warp inside because the boss I gotta beat is inside. So, all right. So we're gonna go to Fort Whisper. That should put me inside the walls of the whatever this structure is. Keep, ruins. And there's like some NPCs too. I can show you. There's one at least. So if I go here, I'll go into the interior. Yeah, there's at least one NPC. I think he's over here. Violence. No. I mean, he did say something to me, but I don't know what language that is. So I just thought he sounded like an enemy, so I took him out. Maybe. The only healing that I know of, other than the resting, is this flask right here on the bottom right or the bottom left, where it's a 3. Yeah. So I just used one, and yeah, when I rest, I get them back. But they don't. It's not a lot of health, so you still have to be kind of conservative with it. Yeah. The music is playing. That usually tells you there's an enemy around, which is an interesting indicator. Well, that's the guy. That's the guy. I knew it. I wonder if there's a. Can I parry with this? Oh yeah, I can. Oh, I'm gonna try parrying with the claymore. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Reminds me of Knight's Path in a way. Oh, that was one that we did a spotlight on. Was like primarily focused on combat. Yeah. I noticed that there's a lot of the indie people are concerned with like, some kind of authenticity to the gameplay where they want this, if they're doing knights, they want to do knights right. So you can see the boss. He's down here, I think. Oh, no, that's not. That's like some big NPC plant monster that there was like a cinematic and he was talking to somebody else. I may have killed the guy he was talking to. I don't know because they were using the similar models. That might have been the guy that was out there in the middle of nowhere. So, but we have somebody. All right. Oh, excuse me, sir.
Hello.
Hello, Houston. Welcome. You are the developer of Fade?
Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. I got trapped at work.
Oh, it's all right. These things happen. We have to live regular lives. Somehow make it work.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite anime.
Okay. It's really big on my list. I still have a lot of friends who haven't seen it, so it's kind of like a it's a friendship ender for me to a fair degree. But they're hanging on.
Yeah. So tell me. Go ahead.
So there might be an audio balance thing because you're coming in through really low, but Fade's coming through really loud. I think.
Is there a way to control the volume? I could stop for a second and let you guys talk. I mean,
Oh no, we should be able to do both. It's just he's just coming through really low. Is there any way to raise his audio? Let's see.
I could go to the main menu and see if there is. Oh wait, I can do it right here. Maybe. Let's see. Here, I can the game music. I can lower it. I'll just lower it to here. I don't know that there's anything else I can change, but that will work, right?
No, it should be fine. We can just go ahead and as is. It's just, I just can't really hear Adam too well. What were you saying?
Yeah, so in Dark Souls you got the Souls of Cinder, but I saw in the start page Homunculus. Do they play the same style as like the main bosses you have to go down?
Yes. So basically, the scope of the game would basically be you have these homunculus leaders that kind of each have their own individual way of sacrificing human lives. And then each one of them has their own philosopher's stone that you're basically going to be going to their location, defeating them, and just putting a stop to them sacrificing people in the hopes of preventing their ritual. So in this case, this first area, this is like Envy's location. Instead of Envy being like, this person who basically has like just wants things, whatever, it was a child in this case. And the child has this Grimwick curse that he's using to transform these people into kind of like his family, which is basically what you're fighting throughout the tutorial. And I'm not sure if you've. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I am not in my full I'm not in my full mode for this. I'm still trying to wind down from work. I've been in exposition mode all day, telling people to do different things. It's just been a lot.
So each homunculus has their own
Yes. Everyone has their own gimmick.
Listen, I don't have much stake in your survival, but it's in both our best interests that you make it to the capital as soon as possible. Whatever this is, it's more than one person. The way out straight ahead, but you're gonna have to make it to the gatehouse.
Who did the voice work for this? Was it you?
So I have a community on my Discord of freelance voice actors, and basically I'll let them like audition for any like the lines, specific roles they want, and they'll just come in and if I like their like delivery, I'll normally like have them do the role, and then we'll just do all the paperwork and stuff, broadcasting rights, the whole 9 yards, and they'll just be in the game as certain characters. But there's pretty much a lot of them in terms of the project altogether so far. And there's a few of them that I keep like I pinpoint on the Kickstarter page because they have like full-on roles, while other people just offer like smaller parts.
All right. So, yeah, that crazy backstab with the claymore. So for the that guy just died. For the models, what engine are you using to make this? And did you make these yourself, or did you pick these assets up from somewhere, or?
So for anything that's like filler or anything like that, like fodder or anything like that, normally I'll just take something from the marketplace, modify it. I do have a 3D artist that I started working with, so some of these models are going to be like taken out and replaced now that we have like more funding to actually do some of the stuff. So I kind of already have like kind of like a plan for it. But in terms of what's in the game currently, some of these are things I've kind of painstakingly put together in ZBrush. I am not very good at 3D modeling, but some of the assets have been modified from the marketplace, while others are like from different channels or locations and other artists. that have kind of like helped on with the project in general, just because they enjoy the game.
Yeah. So what? I mean, obviously, this is inspired by Dark Souls as well, which is what my interest in playing it was. What is it? What are the specific elements of that you wanted to try to incorporate? Like what are the things about? Because a lot of people are making Souls likes. So, what do you think is like the thing that you think is most important to like make it stand out? Oh, I didn't backstab that guy.
I think it comes down to like the overall structure of like what Souls likes presents. Like playing through like pretty much all the Dark Souls games and other Souls likes, Lies of P most recently. Like the Souls like formula is perfect for telling a story with a set path that keeps like exposition and all these things in a perfect row, where you're not like just bombarding someone with story like in some action games or some other stories. And it presents like an opportunity to really create different worlds that people can explore. So that's kind of what I wanted to emulate, like the exploration of kind of like what you would have in Dark Souls, but have some of the story elements and different features of Fable. Because there are, you know, things that are somewhat like Demon Doors, things that are somewhat like interesting joke NPC quests and stuff like that. But a vast majority of it's going to be borrowing from Dark Souls, like overall build, with a lot of the narrative elements from what you'd expect from an anime, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I see you've got a jump button.
So at some point, I'm kind of thinking about changing it to a sprint and jump type feature, mainly because I'm so used to that in general. I just kind of kept it in general as like a thing I already had in the system. Now, I kind of do like having mantling in the game as it is, so I might kind of leave that in because it kind of feels. Some people like having a jump button as an option, and then I have implemented like jump attacks as well. So I think I might keep it as something unique to have in terms of the story, but it's not anything I'm like tied to. Right now, we're kind of in a phase where like we're building out story content and building out a lot of things. Some of the gameplay features may change in tiny pieces throughout this process, especially like as people are testing it. Like some people will tell me like they didn't like originally they didn't like feeling locked when they would lock onto an enemy where they couldn't sprint. So like I made it so now whenever you lock onto an enemy, as long as you hold the sprint button, you get omnidirectional movement to like free you up and stuff. So it's like taking small things in. So whatever works best is basically what I'm going for, to make sure that people don't feel like the game's difficult to play just by its controls alone.
Yeah, I know in Versus 3,
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I really think they found the answer for that in Elden Ring, because like your options for mobility in that game kind of depend on like the different motions you're going to. Like I remember I watched a technical video where they showed the hitboxes and how they change, whether or not you roll, dodge, or duck certain attacks, where people were fighting enemies the complete wrong way, where you could avoid entire attacks just by jumping or ducking.
Yeah.
And that kind of aspect to it is something I'd have to also figure out with Fade, where your main options are either rolling or sprinting away. There's a jump, but it's not a jump meant to be kind of like Elden Rings where you can like jump over entire attacks. Like you're not Mario hopping over obstacles and stuff like that.
I was gonna point out too that I was just telling people about you know, some of the things we know about this game, and one of the things I didn't mention was that me. Oh, okay. Well, so anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting somebody in my ear telling me some of the things. I'm a little confused, but so this game, Houston, it came out of a game jam. So can you tell us a little bit about the story behind that? Like you were working on this for a game jam, and then you decided to like make this into a full project.
Oh, okay, so this is a little bit of a PTSD story, so I'll definitely get into it.
Okay.
So this is like my first big experience with the gaming industry. I was like trying to find work and stuff like that on the side, but I just kind of knew how to program, but I couldn't find work at the time. and I had just started college, and I was probably in like my second year, I think, or my second or third year, and I was kind of just back in college. If I remember, we had started doing the game like a long time ago. I started all over entirely because I was done learning Unreal Engine and learning how to use that system. So I was like, let's start over and try it for real this time. So I had my game development document, and I started out with a game that was going to be Dark Souls combined with Dragon's Dogma, where you had a companion system. You had up to like 3 companions you could go around with. And the issue came not with like building that, but balancing it. So I had so many people play the game and say they love it, but then they're like, the fights are way too easy. And then I have to give enemies too much health, too much attack. And it was like a whole balancing nightmare. So I'm in the mind state where, okay, well, like maybe it's time to like drop this project or whatever. Like I don't really have the time. I got school and all this other stuff. I can't necessarily like get this going the way I wanted to. And then out of nowhere, someone from my Discord tells me that they've been in talks with this guy named Scott Prather, who's in charge of Rogue Gaming, or Rogue, the gaming company. And that company now has I always forget his name. I always feel bad about it. The guy who was basically in charge of Nintendo for a set period of time.
Shigeru.
Not Miyamoto. It was
I think
Reggie.
I know.
It was
Reggie.
Reggie Fils-Aimé had taken charge over basically Rogue and was their like main CEO. And he basically had like this whole Rogue Game Jam competition that people were basically telling me I need to sign up for. And we finally get to the phases where I'm like competing. They're looking at my game, they're testing it. I'm hearing all these positive things, and I'm like, wait a minute, I was planning on stopping and starting over and like pivoting this into something else. And they basically said, nope, keep going. And then finally we had the big release of like the Rogue Game Jam video, and I got like, it's not really like third, it was just like second or third because there was 3 people in the finals, but it was to win $500,000 from IGN. And it was going to be huge for the game, but we didn't win. They still haven't even announced the game that did win. So like, I don't know if that like publishing deal even went through with them. But fast forward to now, after that, I basically just started over entirely, fixed the project up to where I wanted to be, and kind of changed the pivot to be something I was more like passionate about in the moment. Because back then, like, Dragon's Dogma, we weren't getting another Dragon's Dogma game for years. And we just got that recently. And like, it was a huge undertaking to try to balance a team-based mechanic as my first RPG, when a lot of people just start with a basic hack and slash adventure. That's kind of what this is. There's a few intricacies to it, but it's mainly just a really good engine for a combat system and a really good engine for a story.
Yeah, so that's how I saw it too. It's like a foundation, very solid, lots of potential, right? How long have you been working on this title then? Since you like Fade itself, excluding like where it sort of came from, the origins.
If we were to start from like when I've like before IGN and before all that stuff, we're talking probably like 6 or 7 years, because like I basically like took everything I had. I was learning Unreal Engine and I had to like wipe everything away. And then after IGN and stuff, it's been like probably like 3 to 4 years since then. So that's how long I've been working on this version of the game.
Okay. Now, as somebody who's never played Fable, so I guess the inspiration comes from Fable, Full Metal Alchemist for the story, Dark Souls looks like a lot of the gameplay stuff. What are the Fable? How did that contribute? Because I've never played Fable.
So one of the things that people can take away if they were to like try to like make a game that's inspired by those elements is the features Fable has in its world that make it connect to the past of their lore, where they don't have to tell you things. You can just experience different parts of it. Similar to the way like Dark Souls will tell you something without really telling you. Like you have to find the lore out.
That's what I love about it. It's like the environmental storytelling and the narrative is in, it's not just like what you're told, which in Souls games, they don't usually tell you much. It's very vague. But there's also in what you like paying attention to little details, like, you go to a ruin, you look at how you see things you don't understand, you're trying to figure out how it got like that. And then you're reading item descriptions and all of that. So it's a lot of fun to like get into the lore. I don't know if that's what you're getting
Yeah.
at. But
So
Yeah.
there's two mechanics specifically that come like there's one in the early access version that's available right now, and then others come later in the game. There's two different mechanics where basically there's demon doors in our game, but they're called daedalus doors. They function similar to demon doors, except daedalus doors are created by owners from the past. Basically, they're like these tombs or catacombs that have been designed by people that used to be kind of like a second home they would go to store their goods, store items. And the only way to get into these things, now that person's probably long since dead, is to convince the Daedalus door that you're the person who used to own that door or used to be their master. And that involves you finding different story elements of that character, exploring the world, wearing the same armor set as them, having the ability to do the same feats as them by having enough strength or having enough intelligence. And sometimes even like one of them involves like doing like a little archery circuit where kind of you have to like shoot these different things within a certain time frame to make sure the door opens correctly. And then the other mechanic are these things called old world dungeons, where basically there's these specific structures that have been sealed away due to just the dangers of certain like things people owned, and you could basically fight into these by doing a bunch
is that
of puzzles.
kind of like the Chalice dungeons for Bloodborne? Have you ever played Bloodborne?
Sadly,
there's-
no.
It's like okay.
You don't have a
this
Bloodborne machine?
You gotta.
Never- Oh, I
love
never.
Bloodborne, but I platinum that shit. But like, it's sort of like there's dungeons you can go to called Chalice dungeons, and they're separate from the main story, but they're part of it, and they relate to the lore. But they're basically these like where you learn about the Thumerians, which are basically like the ancient people that were alive before the events of Bloodborne. So it's sort of like learning about the past by going to these dungeons, and they're optional. You don't have to do them to finish the game. So it's sort of like and they're that's where all like some of the most challenging enemies are there. It's kind of like a bunch of bonus content in a way,
Okay, so
So-
it's funny enough that like that's pretty close to what it is because
Yeah.
like to use one as an example, like the entire dungeon's theme is about like a kind of fire-based weapon that's kind of sealed away with all the puzzles revolving around fire to some capacity. Like even getting in, you're setting light to different things in an area to make sure it opens. So it's kind of like that. Like you're trying to fight
Yeah.
into this location, you get an armor set out of it, and then you get a legendary weapon.
Oh yeah, see that's cool. That's like it's like it gives it more replay value, adds more content. It's kind of like I just thought of this other game, and I know this is a little bit unrelated, but you ever played Dragon's Crown before? Dragon's Crown is like a 4-player beat 'em up made by Vanillaware, and yeah, we can bring the game back up. But anyway, it has like there's like a main story and everything, but there's also these kind of it's like a infinite dungeon. So or not really infinite, but there's like extra challenge dungeons. You can do them, as much as you want, and like level up, get more rare loot, things like that. If it's that kind of thing. But
Okay.
let's look back at the game again.
Speaking of
specific-
speaking of loot, by the way, what do the Philosopher's Stones do when you beat one of the homunculi?
Okay, so your first introduction to it is like after you get like the first item in the game, you basically use these aura cisterns to kind of change your potion. So a lot of people that play the the demo or the early parts of the game are gonna realize, yeah, my potion's terrible. Like I'm only healing a little. Like if I take
Brian was
serious
just
damage, yeah. That's entirely intentional. Like you're supposed to not get a lot of health back because when you unlock the different Philosopher's Stones, or sometimes you defeat certain side bosses, you can then combine that with your potion, your Aura Flask, to kind of change how it heals you. So the first one you get mainly just focuses on making sure you heal more, and you'll notice, okay, this is more substantial. The other ones would be like this one restores some of your mana. This one increases your stamina regeneration for a set period of time, stuff like that.
So are you mixing the Physic Flask from Elden Ring with the Estus?
Effectively, that's kind of how it works.
It's kind of cool.
There's another system like that in Dragon's Dogma. I remember. I think it's called Liquid Vim or something like that. But you take this one item, and your stamina regeneration just would like overflow basically. But a
Okay.
lot of different things are kind of like going on with the potions, but you have to
So
defeat
if-
bosses to get these different items.
So if I'm feeling really confident, can I just get like a super damage potion and never heal, and just
There is a lifesteal potion, which it does have its own downsides, but the upside would be like as long as you're hitting things, you're getting your health back.
I like that.
Dude, he does the Achilles stab when I charge at a guy. Let me show you. You remember the movie Troy? Watch.
Oh, the jumping
So-
stab.
Yeah, the jumping stab, the lunging leap thing. So, you have a Kickstarter going on
Yeah.
for this game right now. How? Tell us a little bit about that, and also, like, what are your ambitions? Like, how big do you want this to be in terms of like the length of the game, and how much more you hope to accomplish? What kind of things we can expect to see from it when it's finished?
Okay. Well, in terms of starting with the Kickstarter, basically we had one Kickstarter attempt like last year, mainly just to like
Yeah, I saw
see what was going on and everything. Because I've never really like approached Kickstarter like in a serious manner before. So I was like, what do I need to do? How should I do my page to try to like explain things to people? And then what do I really need? So like for me at the time, I was like, 50,000 would be how much I would need to replace my salary, work on the game for a whole year. So I was like, that'd be like ideal. Fast forward to like the most recent campaign, I was like, realistically, I could balance my day job with game dev like I have been doing, and then just have the funds I need to finally pay the artists to make the bosses. And then me designing an area, like for example, this area you're in right now, for me to design this place, I think it took like around like maybe 6 hours of time. So if I'm dedicating like time during the weekends to kind of just make levels, I think I can churn it out for just that amount. And then anything beyond stretch goals is just going towards like funding for certain things to speed up our development pipeline. It's all just to get the game finished overall, which some people said, well, you can't make an entire game with this budget. I'm not really trying to. I'm just trying to finish it. I already have like 80% of things. It just wouldn't make sense to give you like an entire new area and then no boss, or like a whole dungeon, no armor set. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, in terms of the game, though, in terms of what the expectation of a finished product would be, you're going to end up fighting like most of the main homunculus, which would be like in this case 4 of the main ones that are operating within the story. And then once you get to the end game journey, that's when you're fighting 3 others that are in the separate location outside of the map, which I'm not going to spoil any of that.
Okay.
So that's kind of like, it's kind of like DLC, but not, because it's just included in the base game. So once you beat the game, you get the option to basically follow this letter, go to this place to handle this other content. And it's completely separate from the main game, but you get to use it to kind of boost your character before you go on the New Game Plus if you'd like. And then I would expect this would probably take somebody maybe like 8 hours, assuming if they just rush through all the side content. Because even with this area is like the tutorial's missing like, I want to say like 8 different pieces of side content. So like there's a fair amount of stuff here. Like even there's another streamer who was playing the game earlier, Dan's Gaming. I think he spent I think like an hour alone kind of trying to try keys and different doors and stuff. Trying to get to different pieces of like the content. So if you're doing all the exploration, like it shouldn't be a very fast game.
No. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a huge improvement from like your first Kickstarter. It wasn't a success, right? And now you've gone from you've gotten 290% now is of your original goal. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it so far. I think it more so the success kind of stems from I made the page it communicates very well what we're trying to do and what the different things mean for the project, as well as it communicates the team better, which I went through, did all the art, different things for the page, and then I'm updating it like weekly as we hit stretch goals and stuff, and I'm like communicating with the community. Biggest thing probably I would say if anyone else is trying to start a Kickstarter, just make sure you're communicating with people a lot. A lot of communication.
Good to know.
A couple of questions. One is I noticed that there's a little bit of traversal. I didn't really encounter it, but occasionally my guy would just climb up on something. Is that something you're gonna make like a bigger part of the game? It seemed like it was sort of incidental, but it's obviously it's programmed in, so it can be done. Are there gonna be like traversal or platforming or things like that? And the other thing is, I see that there's an item up there. And I want to know how to get to it. Do you see it up there on the? Can I get up there?
Spoilers?
I mean, I want to know how to get there. I mean, maybe I have to defeat that guy first, but that's what I figured is that because I assume that you took a bit of a letter out of like the Souls series in terms of where there's more verticality, that there's you think you're close to something, but you have to go like another way to get there, kind of a thing where it winds around. So yeah, those were. But first, the traversal thing. I did notice that. Yeah.
So for traversal, like the mantling is intended to stay in the game. It's kind of just like a feature in general for like exploration. There's certain things I'm going to tell you that you can't mantle because they just wouldn't really have like a benefit. But some places you will be able to use the mantle. As for specifics to what you're doing right now, I'll just add like lore. Maybe that'll help like point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
So with Whisper Fortress and a lot of different buildings throughout Beltane, they kind of have like a specific kind of hierarchy to where they do build their structures to limit access. So for certain parts of their buildings or whatever, they'll make it so you have to channel aura into these certain doors or passageways to open them. And Fort Whisper is being rebuilt from it being like kind of like a stronghold like a long time ago. Because as you can see, it's been destroyed. It's kind of just gone through the ringer. And for years, they've kind of just been using it to store all these old war materials. Like there's boxes of cannonballs and all these old like trebuchets and stuff. So if there's any kind of passageway to something that looks like there should be a door somewhere, you generally just have to look for where you think the door might be. Not like Dark Souls.
Are there hidden doors, like secret doors? Because I know that there's still like gates I haven't opened yet and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so that's exactly
what I'm missing. Okay, that's what I mean. Go ahead.
You're hosting a speedrunning competition?
Yes. And this is mainly because one of my friends gave me a good idea regarding it. He basically said, I've been speedrunning your demos since you started the new update and stuff. And he said, I found 8 bugs. And I said, what do you mean you found 8 bugs? And then I would just like join his Discord call and just watch him tear the game apart. And he speedruns everything. So I was like, why don't I just change this into just a larger thing and just have most people do the new update? So I could see all the different glitches, because I do have some people in my community that aren't telling me things that they found that they're using to exploit certain things. Like one is well known, which is going to be removed soon. Someone told me that once you get to level 50, since I haven't done the data table for level cost after 50, any level after 50 is just free. So they'll just get to level 50 and just spam the button till all their stats are like max. So there's a lot of stuff like that.
The competition is for speedrunning the demo, so okay,
Yeah,
so anyone can give it a shot and try to get a good time. Is there a leaderboard? Is there any times that people should be trying to beat?
So I did try to set up the gaming category on speedrunning.com. Haven't been able to do it yet, man, because like no one else has put up their speedruns yet. And for me to make one, like I just made a profile. I've always just like clicked onto the site. I've never actually made a profile. Like you have to wait 3 days to set up or to recommend the game for speedrunning.com. So you'll have the option of putting it there, as well as most people are going to be going to the website and uploading it there and sending me a link to their YouTube video. And that way, like, we're getting presence on YouTube, we're getting presence on speedrunning.com. People might stream or might play it that way. And then I could kind of bring all these together, review them all, and then figure out whose speed was the fastest. Probably by the end of the date we set, which would be, I think, March 18th, I believe we said was going to be the end. It's going to be like 1 week after 2 weeks after we do the last admission date, which will be March 1st, which is also when the Kickstarter ends.
And is there a prize for this?
It is a Steam Deck.
Ooh.
A Steam Deck and a Fade themed skin for the Steam Deck, which I didn't want to get into that problem where people are like, I want to take off the skin, I don't like it. So I'm just going to send the Steam Deck and the skin as an optional thing to use on it. That way there's no kind of issues regarding it. But yeah, they'll get the Steam Deck, and then they get our Heroes of Legend Kickstarter tier, which means, you know, your name's going to be on a piece of lore in the game, and then you get to kind of like add a little spice to what detail you want about yourself, whether or not it's on a gravestone or whether or not it's in a book. And it comes with some other stuff too, like the little in-game statues I've designed and stuff like that, because, you know, that's like one of the things I do in my spare time, just making 3D printed statues and painting them.
Do you know this? Will this game run on Steam Deck? I
So,
assume it will, but or at least
I've-
that's the plan.
So I have 2 friends that play it on Steam Deck, and I've never heard them complain about performance, but I don't know how to go through Steam and like say, yes, this plays on Steam Deck. So it still says
Yeah.
like no confirmation yet, but we'll see regarding the new update. I'm assuming with the performance of the newest demo, it should perform pretty well on it, because it's not very like FPS heavy, and it doesn't get very framey like at all compared to older builds.
All right. Well, the game is called Fade, guys, and thank you for showing it to us. I guess like let people know where they can follow you and download the demo and maybe like add it on the wish list as we watch it, grow and whatnot. I'm gonna try this boss again. He's killed me like every time. So Gabriel Phelan Lucas says, "Does this game run well?" Oh no, I already put that one up there. He says you can add a developer comment under Steam Deck compatibility section. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's an option. All right, let's see. I'm gonna probably die here.
If I were to say anything in terms of just following me, I would just say either Twitter, or to just kind of just wish list the game on Steam, because I post a lot of updates on there as well.
No, you don't.
So this homunculus has like plant powers, I guess.
Yes. So the Grimwood Curse is basically derived from this like seed. There aren't many of them in existence, and most of them are kind of like just like really lost treasures type thing that people don't want to touch. But it's kind of like an old school curse that used to happen a long time ago. So in this case, this homunculus has been given this by the person like they're working with, and he's kind of just eaten it. And it's allowed him to kind of like spread
What's
this
the?
curse
Oh
around
shit!
all
Oh
these
shit! What the hell is this? I lived somehow. Sorry, I'm gonna shut up.
And where'd the music come from?
Yeah, the music's great.
So I have a few friends that are composers from my college days, and then a few others that like will reach out to me. But a lot of this is made by just a few friends I have, just on like in their spare time, and then some of them, of course, just like modified from like different songs I've acquired working in game dev in general, like reuse stuff from side projects and other things.
Okay.
I might win actually. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna die.
Try sprinting that move.
Nope.
So, so the
I got close.
projectiles.
That was very close. Yeah.
So the projectile's tracking starts like the moment he releases it. So as long as you're moving once he releases it, it shouldn't hit you in theory.
Right.
In
Yeah, that
terms
looks
of-
like one of those side running
Mhm.
attacks. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you almost had him. I would recommend using the weapon skill, because with the sword and shield, as I say before, I'm a big fan of Dragon's Dogma. So generally, if
Yeah,
you
it's
use
like
the
a
weapon,
thrust. It's like a charging attack with a thrust,
yes,
right?
it's Stinger basically. Either Stinger
Yeah.
from Devil May Cry or Burst Strike from Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, I'll just run in there and fight with him.
Stretch goals for digital
Boxing with
art
these guys is just wasting my time. So let's Let's do this one more time. Let's do this.
Okay. So in terms of the
Feral
stretch
Grimwick
goals,
Terror.
they're mainly just to put the game on different platforms and to add more content. We do already have a digital art book that's included in some of the rewards, and then the soundtrack's also included in one of the rewards.
Okay.
On stream.
Okay.
So the weapon skill activated the same way it is in like Dark Souls, like left trigger then right trigger or something.
Ow! Ow!
So basically, you'll just kind of hold down the blocking trigger, and then you'll just press it's either right trigger, I think, to initiate the
Yeah.
attack.
The Feral Strike is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna kill me, I think. That did a lot of damage. I may have mashed. Ow! Okay. All right. No, yeah, because I mashed the button, so he started the animation twice, but it also behaved as two uses. So what I have to do is calm down and just do it measuredly, and then I'll execute without getting like all freaked out. Okay. I don't want to waste too much of your time while I struggle with this boss. But excuse me, sir.
I guess people will have to go pick up the demo and beat it themselves
Yeah.
if they want to see the ending.
Yeah.
Or yeah, because I'm certainly not a speedrunner. So
Okay. Well, in that case, then I'll go ahead and head out because I do have to do some stuff, and I have to drive to New
All
York
right.
this weekend to do some other.
this
event
does have a
stuff.
pause button, so there is also that.
Big
Yeah.
improvement.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, thank you. And thanks, guys, for coming. So check it out. The game is called Fade. You can download the demo on Steam. Go ahead and wish list it. And there's a Kickstarter, so you can help realize this game or see, how far it can go. I'd like to see it happen. What's going on? Are we good? All right. No, I'd like to see where this goes. I think it's got, like I said, it's got some legs in it. It does look good. Thank you, Bird Talk. Yeah, I mean, like, it's still early days now, but this is a decent build. Go ahead, check it out, and give him some feedback. Play the demo, send him a message. Maybe, I don't know if he wanted to give us his Discord or whatever, but you can try that as well. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for us, I guess. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for checking out Fade.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, guys.